Morning. Welcome to the Olympian Table this morning. My name's Steve Williams. I'm the host of the show, and this is where all things bright and beautiful work this morning. And as always, the bright and beautiful one is obviously Courtney here. How you doing, Courtney?
Pretty good. We're in 2024 now. New year, new things.
Yeah, so let's look ahead and forget everything that's gone on before because better things are ahead of us. How about you, Kay? How are you feeling this morning? You're eating cookies for breakfast?
Oh, not donuts?
I was going to say, normally it's donuts. So what have you done over the holiday period? You don't do nothing really, do you? It's just a sort of normal day for you, correct?
So during the New Year's, since we had an extra day on Sunday, we actually had a few people over. We had a fire, we had food.
She lives in the country.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I had one of the best Christmases and one of the best New Year's I've ever had. Because it was the way it fell on the Monday, it seemed like it gave us an extra day for both Christmas and the New Year. I know it was a New Year, I know it was a weekend, but the way it fell, it's like, because it's Saturday and Sunday, nobody works Saturday and Sunday. And then you're off on the Monday, so it was like a 3-day break. And it was really, really nice, you know. And then New Year was the same, and it was nice to sort of just stay around the house and tidy up the house a little bit and, you know, do some of them things that I really don't like too much, but at the same time, you know, you've got to sort of cut the straw a little bit, both ends, and sort of see what happens. But I had a great time. I had my usual property management calls. Of course, everybody calls me Christmas Eve and says my oven's not working. Well, did you not think about testing it? Because we've got a property management company. And that's why we've got to sort of call people out and get things working for them because we want them to have their Christmas dinner and do the right thing. But, you know, to be perfectly honest, it's probably the best I've had in a long time. How about you, Kay? You went out over to San Antonio, correct?
Not for New Year's, for Christmas, but for New Year's, my friends forced me to go out. Yay.
You went partying?
Yeah.
Oh, you naughty girl, you.
I was tired.
Yeah. My daughter, who's just graduated from Texas State University, she's just got her MBA like a week before Christmas. She disappeared New Year's Eve and she didn't appear till like 1 o'clock the following day, New Year's Day. We didn't ask too many questions.
About 1 a.m. or 1 p.m.?
PM. We didn't really ask too many questions. We thought perhaps it's not a good idea. We just looked after a dog because she has an old English sheepdog that she takes with her to college.
Did any of your animals get scared during the fireworks?
Oh, it was an absolute headache. Christmas Eve and New Year's were an absolute headache because of 4 old English sheepdogs. We'd get them motivated to go outside, obviously, and then literally all you've got is one little bang and crack and a popple. You know, it's like a cereal, snap, crack and popple. Is that, do you know that? Snap, crack and pop. You know, and then all of a sudden they run. And then all of a sudden, guess what they do? They run all to the door and they just line up like, I just want to get in here.
Yeah, and then after New Year's, it's always so frustrating because people are still doing fireworks.
They were last night.
Exactly.
They were last night.
Oh, they're doing them in the middle of the day, too. And I'm like, no one can see these. Who are you popping these for?
But it's illegal for them to pop fireworks where you're at, right?
Yeah, but they're still doing. Where we live, it sounded like New Year's Eve. It sounded like a war zone, and we live in Houston.
Yeah.
It literally sounded like a war.
I guess we have more respect where I live because
And it
was only on New Year's and it was crazy.
Well, no disrespect to you, but I think it's a sort of less populated area where you live compared to no.
It was crazy during New Year's. I thought there was a war going on outside.
Well, that's the same as us. But from 11 o'clock to about 2 o'clock, it was absolutely mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that I think the police were out there taking a look at some people, and I'm sure some people got caught because it was just ridiculous. It was out of, you know, and we live next to a fire station. You know, the fire station's the street across, so I'm sure that, you know.
Oh, so you heard way too much?
Well, you know, when you hear that around New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, you think if somebody burned himself with a firework. You know, that's really what I think about all the time, because as a kid growing up, we have what we call bonfire night, which is November the 5th, where, you know, we celebrate a guy called, his name is Guy Fawkes, tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, and it's a big thing for kids to do. We build bonfires and buy fireworks and set them off. But I'm telling you, the amount of people, it was always publicised, that used to, you know, have firework burns was just incredible, really.
Well, I think it's crazy that people just, they don't care. They do not care.
But you know what? Some of these, in all fairness, some of these fireworks, last night, the street across, it looked like somebody was letting off fireworks. But I mean, it went up there and you hear the whistle, it gets to the top and it goes bang, and then all of a sudden it literally opens up like a flower and then it bangs again. You know, so how much are they, do you know? Apparently I've heard some of these fireworks are just, you know, we're talking hundreds of bucks.
Yeah, some of them are like hundreds, but you can get like a standard pack for like $50 or something. And
So you was letting the fireworks off last night?
I absolutely was not. You have no idea how frustrated I get, because at least on New Year's it's just constant, but afterwards it's like, for whatever reason, people want to save their fireworks. They're trying to make them stretch, so they pop 2 off. They'll wait 3 hours and pop off more.
If you've got a dog, it's very, very difficult. It really
None
is.
of my animals really care too much about it.
At least you have that. I'm the animal.
You're the animal. I don't like it.
I'm freaking out.
I literally have one Old English sheepdog out of the 4 that really doesn't care too much, and that's George. You know, but
that's crazy. I would think George would care the most, the way that he.
no, he
treats
don't
the
mind.
lawn
He's
guy.
more interested going up to the metal fence and seeing what's going on down the street, who's driving the street. You know, so.
But speaking of New Year's, so unfortunately, everyone was celebrating. Japan had some pretty nasty
challenges.
Yeah. So we have this video of just some of the
Chaos is the best way to put it. Unfortunate chaos.
Yeah.
That's been going on in Japan. Obviously, they have an earthquake, and at the same time, a tsunami comes in.
So you want to check out the video? Have you guys ever been in an earthquake?
I have not. Ooh. So the good thing about Japan is they have a really good like security, kind of system, like alert system.
And their building systems as well. I think they're built for earthquakes to a degree.
Yeah, so they stop like all the trains and everything before the earthquake hits.
But the issue is with places like Japan is a lot of the homes are traditionally built and they're made of wood. So when they get earthquakes and tsunamis and stuff like that, it causes fires, and it's very, very difficult, to get emergency services to things like that.
Seems like lately they've been getting almost an earthquake every single year that's been killing people.
Yeah. Japan has they're on it's like California. They're on the same tectonic lines, so there's like earthquakes all the time.
I didn't think it was on the same one.
Not on the same one, but it's like California. They're both on tectonic
Apparently
lines,
there's a tectonic line off the coast of Japan, sort of in the middle between America and Japan.
That's probably why they have such
And and I watched a video with it showing how it happens, how one of the plates slips under the other plate and then it pushes up, the sea and creates a wave, and then as the wave gets more inland, it gets more ferocious and it gets higher, and it gets to the point where it's,
Just the thing about these earthquakes is you don't have very much time to do anything, really. You have a very short, hey, it's coming and then it's there, compared to, you know, like when we have hurricanes, we have days to get prepared and we can even leave the area that it's hitting.
Absolutely.
We, cause I grew up in California, so the only thing that you could do is as soon as you felt the shaking, you're just supposed to go underneath your desk. And that's all you can do. You just go underneath the desk, and if something falls, that hopefully the building doesn't come crashing down. That's literally all you can do.
Was you ever there? You wasn't around in the big earthquake in California, was you?
But that was in San Francisco. I was in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still, you could still.
Because that's the biggest one that's ever happened, hasn't it? The one in San Francisco.
Yeah, where it like basically collapsed the Golden
The
Gate.
Streets collapsed.
Yeah.
Did the Golden Gate Bridge collapse?
A part of it got knocked down, and they had to kind of rebuild parts of it. But
Wow.
it's earthquakes are like, because the small ones, it's like, the ground shaking, but then the aftershocks are what actually like is like the scary part is because it
and I think it makes it
hard.
even more scary because you don't know when the last one is going to be.
Exactly, because you hit the earthquake, it's like it lasts for a long time, but then the aftershock is like 4, 5, you don't know, and so I feel bad for people if they're driving during an earthquake, but this is some of the damage that got done. Look at that street.
It's not a street no more. I'm sure the death toll is going to rise. I know that they're still trying to rescue people.
And that's the water going in.
Yeah. And then afterwards there was a tsunami, right, Stephen?
Yes. We're still a little bit unsure how long it took for the tsunami to make its way to Japan. Very scary.
Laura's daughter just came back from Japan like the week before Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was traveling in Japan, I actually enjoyed going to Japan. We went to Tokyo.
Before.
It's clean. I mean, it's immaculate. It's, it really is. It's very much a different country. It's culturally, a great country. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all the people in Japan, and we hope that you get over this and things get better for you and you get the help that you need. So, anything else to be said on that, Kay, or is that about it?
No. Speaking of just other countries, I mean, people are leaving the U.S. So
well, you know what my plan is. I don't intend to. How could I put this? I don't intend to really. I definitely don't want to die, whatever you want to call it, in America, because I don't feel it's the country that it used to be. There's too many changes. It's too diverse now. I want to live without that. But basically, it was saying that there's a large amount of Americans now that are, leaving the country. I will keep my properties that I've got over here to provide me, a pension, and then perhaps pass that on to my children. And I'm really in two minds about whether they should have anything, because I really don't feel that it's not earned, it's not deserved. And I think I've seen so many people who have been given, and this is even some of my clients, they've passed, they've given their properties to their children when they've passed, and through one or other reason they've lost the properties because they've been mismanaged. They just think they can take the rents, and then mortgages don't get paid and they get foreclosed on. So it's interesting, really.
They said about 45% of U.S. citizens said that they don't believe in the American dream anymore, and then they said 18% never thought that it was true, but it's 45%. So.
No, I believe it was true at one point, but I feel it was very true at one time. The American dream, was the thing, but I think what's happened is, as I said, America has become so diversive at the moment. Then I'm not really going to get too political on this podcast. You've heard my rant a couple of weeks ago about Mr. Trump, but the truth of the matter is, I feel that immigrants are the backbone of this country, and as soon as we move away from that, I love the guy Jim Jeffries, the comedian Jim Jeffries, and also Ricky Gervais, and I love what they say, and I want people to understand that comedy is comedy. You've got to treat it as comedy, all right? Mr. Trump, I don't think you should treat him as a comedian, because he's not a comedian unless, he's a politician. So what he says to me should be taken a little bit more serious. But when you're talking about Ricky Gervais and such like, one of the things they say is, they're stopping immigration, but at the same time, I can't see merry Americans picking the fruits and picking your vegetables and picking everything else, and you're talking about the prices going up, And it was interesting, I watched a video yesterday about Russians, which I can't really understand, and it was somebody interviewing Russians, and it was basically saying a lot of Americans think that, in Russia people are poor and they live poorly. And the Russians in Russia, and this is, they were basically saying, we're poor but we're happy, we've got pensions, the government are giving us pensions, we grow fruit and vegetables in our garden, and we're quite happy to live that way. Well, also be it, let them live that way. I don't agree with invading other countries, but the truth of the matter is, it just goes to show that, I think American food is poison, and that's one of the reasons why I do want to leave. I would love to have the money to live in Scotland. That's my number one place where I would like to live. Scotland is just a beautiful country, and English food is so much healthier. Well, Scottish food in that case is so much healthier, and I do miss my fish and chips.
Yeah.
So, us as a country, we have probably the worst food to eat.
We do, because of, and it's all the preservatives in the food. My son Jack, who I'll give a hard time over the year, I've got to say to him, you probably do the same, Kay. You cook your food once a week, you put it in little packages, you put it in the refrigerator, and he heats it up, and he's got one for each day.
Yeah, I do twice a week. Meal prepping.
Yep.
Yeah, but what he basically does, that's what he does every day. Now he works at home these days, as he's just been promoted in his job, but he works at home, and so he's eating at home, but he's still doing his food prep, and he's cooking, so-called organic food. You don't know if they are or not. And a funny thing happened to me the other day, actually, at HEB. You've got cage-free eggs, all right, organic cage-free eggs, and you've got two boxes. When you open the one looks like an organic egg.
Or sometimes some of them
all right,
green,
where it's orange.
Yeah.
A proper organic egg apparently looks orange, but yet the same box that I'd opened, all right, because we were doing English breakfast on New Year's Day, looked orange. It wasn't orange, sorry, it was yellow. And it was the same type of box. So I'm thinking to myself, and this is my wife's comment, was somebody swapped the eggs around in the box so they haven't got to pay the extra amount for the organic ones.
That's funny. Because organic eggs are all different colors, right? They can be green, they're yellow, orange. I only eat brown eggs.
They're supposed to be bright orange.
For organic, if you want to call it organic, it's just what you're feeding your chickens, and each chicken lays a different color egg. It depends on the chicken itself.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
So,
Megan down in Lake Jackson, who's got a lot of chickens, she was saying she's having problems with her chickens laying eggs at the moment because it's the winter, and in the cold weather they don't lay too many chickens.
So whenever they talk about cage free, it just means that they're not sitting in a cage 24 hours a day.
Right.
They are literally stuffed into little barns all together.
Right. Oh, no, I've heard that.
I think
I've
they
heard that.
only have to be let out maybe 30 minutes a day to
Yeah.
be considered cage free.
Yeah.
So
So we get pastured. I think it's called pastured, grass fed. That's it. Grass fed is what we normally try to go for the eggs and everything else.
yeah, I only eat brown eggs. I don't like the way that just like white eggs taste 'cause the bleaching. I don't know. It just tastes weird to me. I don't like it. So
once again, it's a type of chicken. They're not dyeing the eggs. Like those eggs would not be brown even if they took it straight out of the chicken's butt. Because I mean, we have white eggs with some of our white chickens.
Yeah.
They still taste different.
It just tastes so strange to me. I don't know why. It's nasty. But yeah, somebody said that pack up and head to a quiet European town or a beachside village in Asia, somewhere where we aren't being poisoned by our food. We don't need 2 to 3 jobs to survive, and where healthcare isn't the luxury but the norm, is what she's saying. So that's what. And then a lot of people said that the good thing about living in the U.S. is that we can take the knowledge that we have of our economy, because even though we think our economy is bad, other places don't have like the same, I guess, drive or entrepreneurial
That's not
ideas
true. That's not
as
true.
us,
That's
as
not
we
true.
do. And so they're saying the best thing to do is take it across to other countries, and then that's what a lot of people are doing, and taking it over there and creating like new businesses and things like that.
I don't go for that at all, because there's. What's that?
I said I agree with that.
With what? What she just said?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. Why is it there's other countries developing other things, especially with things like special earth metals and different things?
I'm just talking about the entrepreneurial value, though, not scientific, not the knowledge. It's just U.S. has the biggest economy. Like we were looking at the list.
We do have the biggest economy.
The biggest amount of entrepreneurs. More people. There are more people in the U.S. that have their own businesses, have small businesses and things like that. So they're just saying, take that same knowledge, and you can make more money. Like.
And there's also the biggest gap between the billionaires and the middle class.
Yeah. But that's
and you know, to me, you know, that's what's caused a problem in the UK. The UK, ever since we've left Brexit, the economy has declined. I mean, you know, it's been incredible what's been happening to the fish industry, and that was one of the big things. The NHS. The National Health Service has gone down ever since we left Brexit. The politicians said all this money was going to go into the NHS, and it hasn't.
The pound
is the lowest it's been ever.
Yeah, and that's what I said. It's $1. Remember, because when you came over, right, the British pound was more than the US dollar,
okay.
Right?
When I came over here 20 years ago,
mm-hmm.
It was $4 to the pound.
Right.
All right. My dad, being the gambler that he was, he even came over to Las Vegas before I came over to live in America. Mm-hmm. All right. And there were days when there was $5, even $6 to the pound.
Yeah.
Now, my dad had some cash when he retired, and he wanted to bring the money over here, and he kept holding off and holding off and holding off, because it was $2.50 to the pound.
Right.
So he held back and he held back. All right. And it never went up.
Yeah.
It just kept going down and down and down. Now, my mother is in a 24/7 residential daycare in England. She's on a pension, so all she gets is a pension, which goes towards her daycare. We're a full paying cash customer, and it's costing for her to be in that about $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So I have to find the difference to put into that. Well, at the moment, because it's $1.2 to the pound,
Exactly.
it's helping me.
Yeah, because now you have to pay less.
All right,
so.
it's helping me. But
Yeah.
there are times when it fluctuates. I think a couple of weeks ago it was up to 1.37 or something. You know, so.
I thought.
And I want Mama to have the best in the remaining years of her life. She's got dementia. She can't remember anything. She can't remember me. I just want her to have the best years left of her life. You know.
I thought that was very interesting though, because the British pound has always been more than the US dollar.
But I think,
now.
you see, my opinion is with the entrepreneurship is I think America is eating itself. Why is that? Because it's like everybody's suing everybody else for just ridiculous stuff. So it gets to the point, why take the risk and the liability to be in business, you know? And that's the part that really is worrying for any business owner. You don't have to be guilty of anything. It's okay saying, oh, well, you were wrong to do this and you were wrong to do that. We've been dragged into situations where we've gone, as we should have done through TREC, done all the correct paperwork, but, you know, what do the insurance companies want to do? All they want to do is settle.
Right.
Because if they go any further, there was one instance where I turned around and says, no, I want to fight it. I want to take it to a jury trial. Let's do it. Let's go all the way. I'm into this. I was rolling my sleeves up ready for a battle. But the truth of the matter is, my insurance company wouldn't back me up on it because they said if we take it to the next level, it's going to cost us more money. And I maintain to this day that we had no liability at all on that. So that's where I think, I'm sure you've had instances, you know, I don't know, perhaps you have, perhaps you don't want to even disclose it, I don't know. But you've had instances where, you know, people feel that they've had a hard deal and a rough deal, but to be perfectly honest, they haven't. They've actually, you know, done okay out of it. And then, but there's also a legal point to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually gotten sued, but there has been instances where they've threatened.
Now, if people are bad loan officers and if people are bad real estate agents, then they need to be out of the business and they need legal action taken against them. We got notified by somebody that got some legal action against them the start of this year, only because we had done some transactions with that particular person, and they sort of asked us if we had any qualms, if you want, with this individual, but it really didn't affect us. It was our clients that it affected, and we just handed over some paperwork, and it was an interesting thing to do. But anyway, what we got next? Let's get off this serious stuff. Let's get on to some funny stuff.
What we have, I mean, we're still talking about kind of the U.S. and everything like that.
If you was going to live anywhere else, where would you live?
I don't know. Everywhere.
I wouldn't go back to Birmingham, where I'm from, in England. I might go to Wales because that's where my family's originally from. I like the idea I like the idea, believe it or not, of going back to Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia. Really, because apparently they've got beautiful beaches, and they're not the countries that they used to be.
In Wales, you're gonna live in Yongo Far, however you pronounce that place. How do you pronounce it?
Which place?
Yo.
It sounds like just something fart. What?
It's like the longest.
What the name in Wales?
Yes. The
Oh,
town.
there's something go, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Wingill.
Oh my goodness!
Exactly.
That's the one. Yeah, but
You guys
it's
thought it was
Welsh.
Crazy.
That's
This
that's
thing
Welsh.
is
And if
58 letters long.
Yeah, and if you go there, it's basically a railway station and a few houses.
Oh,
I'm gonna play what it's supposed to sound like.
including 4 L's in a row. And
Because it's in Welsh.
Clan Viathig Gwyngyth Guerra Windrobit Lintasilia go go go.
There you go. I just remember the end of it. Go, go, go.
Clan Viathig Gwyngyth Guerra Windrobit Lintasilia go go go.
There you go. That's where you're gonna live, Stephen.
No. I had some more places where I was originally from. A place called Zuniga, but all these little towns and places.
so the name, I don't know if
They're
you
not
know the
looking good.
history of it too much, but reading through the history, it used to be a lot shorter, but in the 1880s, in a joking attempt to attract tourists, a tailor added the rest of the syllables, bringing the total length to 58 letters. So they were trying to attract tourists back in the 1800s.
Well, he had a bit of a different sense of humour. I would have thought doing that would have made people forget it, but there you go.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I don't.
But I mean, I think the Baltic countries are nice. I'll be honest with you. When I travelled, I like Sweden, Finland, Denmark. I love Holland. Absolutely adore Holland, and I love Amsterdam. In the winter they've got these lakes, and you skate on the lakes, and there's not much traffic, and you can cycle anywhere in the city.
Yeah.
If you're into smoking dope, you can go to a coffee shop and you can smoke cannabis. If that's what you're into, I'm not. But I mean, you can.
Sure.
It's a very. Well, I'm not.
Just joking.
But I mean, never been into it.
One of my friends has dual citizenship in Germany and the U.S. And he says
Germany
that
is
it's
a great
really
country.
good place to live.
It
Yeah, he
is.
says
It's
like,
clean.
Yeah.
It's respectful, and that's what I like about some of these countries that we're talking about.
And they have so much shame from World War II that they're really nice to foreigners.
They are. They are. Germany and Austria.
That appearance.
Germany and Austria. They have. And you know what amazes me, and it really does amaze me. A lot of the European countries, even including Italy, their architecture is so much better than what it is in America. I mean, what architecture have you got from the 1700s and the 1800s in America?
Well, yeah, it's because we want everything to look modernized and everything has to be square.
But if you go to Germany, the houses there are square, but they're beautiful, and they're sort of, it's very scenic. Kitzbühel is beautiful. Oberstdorf is great. We competed at Oberstdorf. I mean, they're just beautiful German, But Germany, I think, it's done very, very well through the, I personally would like to have my European citizenship back. I'm willing, to sort of move my Great Britain citizenship, but, you got the Netherlands there. Netherlands is fabulous. Click the Netherlands a minute. Go down. The healthcare system is good. Move up. What's the quality of life? Quality of life number 7. Power 7. Open for business 14. Movers 45. Heritage entrepreneurship number 12. Cultural influence 18. Agility. I really think it's a beautiful country. Whenever I went there, it was, there you go, there's your bikes. Go up to the images and ride the bikes. Everybody rides a bike to work.
I think that a lot of people, when they travel overseas from the United States, they say that they like the fact that it's walkable. I think that's the main thing that people really like. They like the fact that it's walkable and that you can bike and things like that, because here everything.
It's a healthier lifestyle.
There's no way for us to get.
If I want to go from, a typical example, if I want to go from here to McDonald's, which I know I do not eat McDonald's, alright, I'm lucky enough to have a sidewalk, and it's only 50 yards down the street.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the places in Houston, there's no sidewalks.
Yeah, there's a Wendy's right around the corner. Not even around the corner. It's like
Straight
a
down the
5-minute
street.
walk, but you can't walk there because there's no sidewalk, or the sidewalk is this big, so you can't. You have to, walk through the grass, or if somebody wants to pass you, one of you guys are going to end up in the street.
Yeah. I know somebody that bought a new house in a new subdivision, and they went on the mud board, and they had to decide as a community to put sidewalks in.
Weird. That is crazy.
I know, I ain't biking to work.
Yeah, but you have to come a long way.
If you had to bike to work, we would see you in 3 days.
Yeah. I'll be here in 2 to 5 business days.
You'd be in better physical condition.
I would.
But I don't know. I used to.
If I
used
make
to
it
bike
here
to
without
work.
getting ran over.
Yeah, I was gonna say because people don't understand.
People
bikes
don't
here
drive over
in
here, though.
Texas.
A lot of people that drive over here don't drive in a defensive manner. They're very aggressive. There was somebody this morning driving here in a big truck, and they was just literally
Oh,
they
big truck in
was
Texas.
they was all over the place. He just wanted to get ahead. It looked like a brand new truck actually, and I'm thinking you're not going to have that long.
Yeah, we are not friendly, especially Texas. Unfortunately, we are. Houston was rated the least walkable city in the United States last year.
Oh, really?
No, well, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Because I mean it's huge and
I don't
it's not
think
even a supermarket.
you know people
America.
say that. I don't think America is as friendly as it used to be because of the bipartisanship. I think that's. But when I came here, it seemed to be a much more friendly. You know, we was proud of being Houstonians, helping one another. Now, when I go down to Brazoria, which is a county south towards Galveston, we have an office down there, and I go down there, I feel that people are more friendly down there, but it's a smaller community.
Small town mentality.
You know, everybody knows everybody else. Do you live in Brazoria?
Mm-mm.
You live in Galveston?
Galveston County. Mm-hmm.
Do you find that people are more friendly down there?
I find that my neighborhood is very friendly.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
When I
do you
first
find
went-
it? Do you find it different though when you come to Houston?
I don't know. I think it's different, definitely compared to a small town, because like
It's a
when I go
different-
to
it's a totally
Tennessee,
different feel.
it's different. Like literally, people will say hi and start talking to you in the grocery store line. People here are just very about their day. They're not rude or anything. It's just a different environment.
There's a friend of mine who I got to know, unfortunately, because somebody passed, and I've got very, very friendly with her. She's an 82-year-old lady who I've sort of taken care of some business for her in Houston, and she keeps inviting me to Kentucky, and I'm determined to get up there sometime because, you know, to experience the Kentucky lifestyle. She keeps telling me how good it is. She likes it. So
I have somebody that said on here that Texas people are friendlier than New York folks.
I think that's true. I think that's true because you've got more people. I think the bigger you go, I think the harder it is. And in all fairness to Houston, I'm not sort of slagging off Houston, but I think with the input of people that we've had, perhaps the last 20 years has made a huge difference.
And once again, it kind of ties into it that most people come here to work. So everybody's just going about their day. This isn't like
Well, we've had
a
an
retirement community that, you know, everybody's here to kind of, we have a more fast pace here.
No, but I think at the same time, I think if you've worked here all your life, I do think that there should be some options for you to possibly retire here because, you know, your family's here and everything else.
That's why you go to Galveston.
And each day you have is a day less that you actually have. I mean, it would be nice to have, you know, some nice environments. I mean, there are some lakes and such likes and different things. I personally like the idea of getting some acreage down in Brazoria, which is more towards the coast.
Get ready
Having-
for the insurance prices.
I know. Have a little house down there and get my dogs down there. You know, that's what I would like to do. Even if it was a little house that I had down there, I wouldn't mind that. Even if it was something I could just go down there weekends. But I think my dogs would love it. They really would. Anyway, so what we got next?
The last thing is just about our economy in Texas. So even though, you know, people do want to leave the United States and they're kind of saying, you know, there isn't really that much really growth and things like that, you know, one thing that's good about living here is that we are doing better, like just education, well, not education wise, but as far as the GDP growth and then just job growth and the real estate growth also is one of the best in the country. So yeah, we're doing the best. So it says compared to the country's 4.9% GDP growth in the third quarter of 2023, Texas had 7.7% growth.
So almost twice as much.
Yeah. So that's good. And then
What do you feel you put that down to, Kay?
I don't know. I think people
Jobs.
moving out of different states.
Well,
to
I tell you what I think I put it down to. I agree with Courtney. It's jobs.
Yeah.
If you're involved in three things in Houston, Texas, you'll do very well. Oil, all right, tech, or the medical industry, then you'll do very, very well.
Definitely have a good medical industry here.
You know, well, I came here because, you know, I had my sort of scares with cancer earlier, sort of in my 40s, 50s, and that's one of the reasons why I came to Houston originally, was because of the Texas Medical Center.
Yeah, and it says Texas, as far as employment growth goes, we're about 3% year over year when the national average is only 1.8. So we're almost double that too.
So, you know, what I can't understand is when people turn around and say the economy is bad and this is bad and that's bad, but it really isn't.
I think it is everywhere else, but Texas is.
Let me tell you, around the world, it's terrible. I was watching a video the other day of the UK, and there was some of the cities that we even went to, you know, as kids, and they were terrible. I mean, we're talking boarded up properties. We're talking industries that are out of, you know, we're talking about people living in just slums, you know, and it was just eye-opening to me, you know, to see people living like that. Unfortunately, having to live, you know, to live that way.
But when you talk about slums, you know, we have a homeless population, but we definitely don't have like a lot of other countries where they have millions of people in slums.
No, and I agree with that as well. But I mean, they were talking about some of the cities in the UK, and there's been a lot of this with Brexit, because what happened was with Brexit, the fishing industry fell apart. So you've got a lot of seaside towns that were relying on the fishing industry, but because they haven't been pulling in it's been more difficult for them to get the quota or even sell the fish. And what's basically happened is they can't afford to fish anymore. And so people have been moving around trying to find jobs, and it's pushed up the cost of fish. It's the cost of a fish has basically tripled the last 3 years, you know. And it's I know that I sold my mum's house in 2021 when she went into a home, and we sold the house for, I think it was £265,000. I looked at the cost of that house as a comparable, because I'm still in contact with that particular real estate, and he said houses on the same street were now selling for $325,000 in the space of 12 months.
Wow.
So the prices are going up, so the rents are going up, and so it's making it really difficult for people, you know. I mean, I'm glad to say that in Texas, you know, people's wages have gone up somewhat, then I guess that helps.
Yeah, Laura, even though she's not here with us today, she's been putting some stuff online. She says that Texas is ranked as the 8th largest economy among nations of the world by national GDP, ahead of Canada, South Korea, Russia, and Australia.
Correct.
So,
But you know what?
valued
But
at
you know what that?
$2.4 trillion.
But you know what that's down to?
Hmm.
Oil. That's why it's so high, because we are, America produces more oil, gas, natural gas, than any other country in the world at the moment, even more than Saudi Arabia, and that's what people forget. You just got to drive down Deer Park and Channel View, and you can see all, you can see it all. I mean, it's not a pleasant sight, and it's definitely not pleasant from a pollution point of view, but it is what it is. It's what we do in this area, and we do it very well, I think. So, but Texas, I think, is a good place. There's one thing that I do want to do, and I'm trying to find out if there's anywhere that I can do it in Texas, because I've done it once in the UK.
What's that?
Clay pigeon shooting.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Huh.
Can you do it anywhere in Texas?
Where
Is
they
there
do,
anywhere
the
you-
plate-
I mean, I've-
plates where you
Yeah.
It's a double barrel shotgun,
got it?
and I think it's 12 gauge,
Oh,
and then
is that what we're talking about?
and then you have somebody behind you, and they do skeet, which goes one direction.
Yep.
And there's different types that you do, as if it was a duck, but it's not a real duck.
It's like a shooting range.
And then basically you have to shoot. You have to shoot that. Is there any way you can do it in Houston, Texas? Because I want to do it again.
I don't want to say anything illegally, but we talk about it after the podcast because I have a clay pigeon shooter. So
What's that?
I have a pigeon shooter. I have a.
No. It's a clay disc.
I know. I have the skeet shooter with the clay discs in it. I have it.
But I don't think there's anything illegal in that.
No, but you can't. You can't do it unless you have the land to do it.
Oh no, I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
So I'm telling you, we can do it.
Down in the Lake Jackson area, I've got somebody that's got a 650-acre ranch.
Okay, so we can all go.
So we can all go down. If I ask him for permission, I'm sure he'll let us go down.
Sounds like there's the Greater Houston Sports Club that has that.
I mean, no, I'm not into guns, but with that, to me, there's no harm in it.
Yeah. My old bosses used to go actual quail hunting.
No, see, I'm not into that. I'm not into killing animals.
Well, yeah, but also, I don't want to eat a quail that I killed. I don't know. But
Okay.
yeah, you can.
I know what I've got to tell you that's real funny.
Hmm.
I was telling somebody in my family over Christmas. I called them up and I wished them a happy holidays, happy Christmas, and you were doing okay. And she said, "Well, what did you eat Christmas Day?" And I said, "Brisket." And she said, "What's that?"
That's funny.
They have no idea in the UK what brisket is.
Oh,
Brisket
yeah, I
is
think we talked about
amazing.
it.
Yep, we talked about this
I
last
couldn't
week.
believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what brisket was until I came to Texas. It's not.
It's the best
I've never
tasting
had
meat
it.
you'll ever find.
It's amazing.
Do you prefer it slopped? Do you prefer it chopped or sliced?
Chopped.
Chopped or slopped?
See,
No.
we have had that conversation here.
Yes, we
Well, I
do.
don't like it slopped. I like it chopped.
You like it chopped, not sliced?
No, I like it sliced.
That's what I was about to say. That's not what you said last time. Let's do a little rewind.
No. I actually prefer it, so it's. But anyway, so is that it for this week? Kay's tapping at them keyboards. I'm sure you can hear. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and comment. If you've got any comments at all, please use the chat, and we'll try to respond to them and get to them. If you want to get hold of Courtney through Lone Star Premier Mortgage, you can contact Courtney
Yeah, you can contact me at Courtney at lspmortgage.com.
or you can contact me through Google at century21olympian.com, or you can contact me, just the best thing to do is to contact me through Google or social media through C21OlympianTX. We look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We really do appreciate you. We hope you've had a a good 2023, but we even hope that you have a better 2024. Please stay healthy, look after your family. If there's somebody there that needs help in your area, reach out to them and show a bit of love. So until then, peace, ta-ta for now. Have a